Hello my dear friends, I hope that all of you are safe and sound wherever you are, and most importantly healthy. So guys, today I am going to talk about a rather unfortunate incident, and that is we got scammed in Canada. Yes my dear friends, we got scammed right here in this house in Canada. So guys, I would request you all to please watch this video till the very end and try to understand each and every point that we are making in this video so that you can also safeguard yourself in an event that you are faced with such a scammer. So guys, without further ado, let's just jump into the topic. So guys, this scam happened on last Friday, which is 27th of November 2020. Just to give you a brief background about what all things happened that day, let me tell you that we had a faulty tap in the house which needed to be fixed on an urgent basis. Since this condo, this apartment unit is having plumbing insurance also included in the main insurance cost, we called the insurance company and then they arranged for a plumber to come and fix the issue, so that it's a cashless operation basically for us. So the insurance company themselves call a plumber and then they take care of it. So this plumber guy comes in at around 5 o'clock in the evening. He stays for around half an hour, fixes all the stuff, makes sure everything is working fine as expected, and then he leaves. Since it was Friday evening, we were in a happy, joyful mood, waiting for the weekend to come, and the day passes on smoothly, or rather I would say that nothing wrong happens in front of us, but behind our back a lot of things has already gone wrong. So the day passes as usual, smoothly, without any problems. Saturday morning when I wake up, I casually check my bank account. So guys, I usually do check my bank accounts once in 3-4 days because I have a lot of pre-authorized debit transactions that are going on. We usually get credit card bills, so I just make sure that all the transactions are in place. So I casually logged into my bank account and I was shocked to see that there are fraudulent transactions on that particular bank account. I am telling this as fraudulent because I was sure that I did not do those transactions. When I asked Sim, even she denied that she had not done such transactions. The moment you detect fraudulent activities on your bank account, your first job should be notify your bank. So guys, call your bank and tell them about this fraudulent transaction. So basically they will first verify you by asking your details, then they will try to identify which transaction you are claiming to be fraudulent, and then they can give you a lot of details which I am going to tell right now. So guys, first of all, Sim and I hold a common checking account and this transaction was done through a checking account. Now guys, if this fraudulent transaction had been done through a credit card, it would not have got reflected on the checking account transaction. It would have got reflected on the credit card transaction. But since this fraudulent transaction was present on my checking account, I knew it that it was done through my debit. It was done through a debit card. Now I was not sure whether it's my debit card or Sim's debit card. So this is the point where your bank comes to help you. So the bank was basically able to verify a couple of things. First, whose debit card was compromised in case of joint holders. So in our case, it was Sim's debit card that was used for this particular fraudulent transaction. Second is, they can tell you whether the scammer used the card at a physical location, I mean he inserted the card at a POS location, or it was done through an online transaction. So in our case, it was done online. So basically the scammer just needed the card number, the PIN, address on file, and that's pretty much it. So that was another thing. And the third thing they can tell you is the time at which the transaction was committed. So this transaction was committed at around 6:30 in the evening. So guys, after getting this information from the bank, and if I try to analyze the situation, my suspicion will point towards that plumber only, because number one, we use more credit card transactions than debit card. Guys, the main reason for this is because there is a restriction on the number of transactions that we can do on our bank account. Say for example, depending on the account type that you have, you can have around 15, 20, 25, 30 transactions like that for a monthly fee that you need to pay. So guys, in our case, we have around 20 to 25 transactions limit per month on our bank account. And if we use our debit card on a day-to-day basis for groceries and every small things, 25 transactions would be used up like this. So we use credit card more And also guys, since to maintain credit history, we have to, use credit card often and pay the bills on time to maintain that, credit balance and everything. So bottom line is we use credit card more than debit card. And this particular transaction was done on debit card, and we hadn't used our debit card from last 1.5 years. So that raises our suspicion, number one. Second thing is the time of transaction. Since the bank had informed us that the transaction took place at around 6:30, the plumber was in the house from 5 o'clock to 5:30 for around half an hour, and this transaction took place 1 hour after that. So again, it raises suspicion that he took all the information, he went out at a very far location and then maybe did this particular fraud. Now coming to the most important point, how did he get the card information? Guys, I would not say that we have a bad habit, but yes, it's a potentially bad habit, because what we do is, like many other North American people, we have a habit of hanging, Sim has a habit of hanging her purse at a closet near the main door. So whenever she has to go out, she puts on her jacket, she puts on her shoes, takes her purse and leaves away. And while coming, she just hangs her purse, removes her jacket, removes her shoes and enters the house. So guys, this is a common step that most of the people would be doing, and we hadn't had any problems till date, to be honest with you. So when this guy came, I hope and I'm suspecting that he was carrying some kind of a magnetic RFID device which would be able to read the data. Now guys, if you remember the Presto card, all you have to do is tap that Presto card on the Presto device, and that much fare would get deducted on your machine. So guys, there are similar devices which scammers have. I had read about this, but I was not sure that it would be available so easily to commoners. So guys, assuming that the scammer, the plumber, had that device on him, he entered the house and then he went to shut off the main valve, the main water supply valve of the house. So maybe at that time he would be in close proximity to Sim's purse, and because of which the card detail got copied onto the device. And after, when he went out, he would have seen, okay, my device has detected one card and these are the details of it. So let's go and do a transaction. Now guys, another strong reason that why I am suspecting the plumber is the scammer is because Sim and I both go outside to malls for groceries and other things. This is before the lockdown was in place, okay? So when we used to go outside, we meet a lot of people, and especially in malls, when you pay the bill and everything, there are people who are in close proximity to you. So the card would have got copied there also. I'm not suspecting that, it would not be copied there. But the main reason that I'm suspecting this plumber is because whenever you make a debit card transaction, you need to have an address on file. In most of the cases, you need to have an address on file, correct? Now, a random stranger who is in close proximity standing near me would have my card details. But how would that person know where I exactly stay? The plumber had this information also because he was standing right inside my house to fix the tap, correct? So that again puts the plumber into my suspect list number 1. Guys, once a scammer has got your card information and all the potential information that he needs in order to commit a fraud, what they will do is they will try to test it. Now the basic way of testing it is by doing a very small transaction. The first transaction is always a small amount, okay? And it will be usually one of those items which you will easily miss. So in our case, the transaction was of around $60 and it was for ordering a pizza through an app. I will not name that app, but through an app, okay? Now if this first small transaction goes successfully, they will usually wait for some time in order to see if the card holder does anything to stop the card or block the card, or if he notices something suspicious. If the card holder does not block his card, that means this transaction did not catch the card holder's attention. That means the scammer is free to do even bigger transactions. So the second transaction would usually be a higher transaction. If that also does not get caught, it will be another higher transaction. So this keeps on going until and unless the card gets blocked or the account is empty. Okay, but in my case, fortunately, by grace of God, I was able to catch the transaction at the very first level itself. Now guys, the steps taken by us were, the first step, most important thing to do is do not lose your cool. Just keep your mind relaxed. It's okay that you have been scammed. It's okay that your data has got compromised. Do not get panicked. Now, the first most important thing that you need to do is inform your bank. Provide as much details about the transaction as you can so that they can better identify you. See guys, it becomes difficult to challenge a debit card transaction because the money has already gone from your account. It's comparatively easier to challenge a credit card transaction because the money has still not gone. You will be paying the money in another 1.5, 2 months time when the bill gets generated, correct? Till that time, you can challenge it. Secondly, the reason that I'm stressing more on providing as much details about the transaction as possible is because the transaction is valid. Now, in my example, it was SIM's debit card which was compromised. The scammer had SIM's detail, card details, PIN, address on file, everything is correct. Okay? So even if I am proving to the bank that this is a scam, how would the bank believe me? Correct? So for us to make the bank believe, I had to tell the bank that I haven't used the debit card, or rather we haven't used the debit card from last 1.5 months. So the bank agent basically ran a query to see how much debit card transactions we have done. And our claim was right that we haven't used the debit card for more than 1 year. And then suddenly all this happens. So I explained this plumber's situation and everything that we faced the previous day to him, and then the bank basically forwarded our case to their fraud department. So guys, as of today, the transaction is being investigated, and then the bank agent has also told us that we may receive calls from the fraud department to ask for more details or anything. In the meanwhile, there are a lot of other things that we have done, because guys, there is a saying in Hindi कि दूध का जला पानी भी फूंक के पीता है. So guys, few other things that we have done which I would like to share with you is that I analyzed all the apps on my phone. Many a times, whenever an app is requesting a payment, there is an option to save the card and remember this card for future transactions or something like that. Especially in Uber, Lyft or anything, there are options in which you have to register your card first and then you can start using the app. So I'm not telling that Uber or Lyft or anything is at fault for this. I'm just telling you that it is your responsibility to keep on changing these card details on a regular basis. So for me, I had not updated my card details on Uber and Lyft for more than 2 years. So that I did recently. Okay. And then there are many apps in which your card is linked to it. So say for example, many food delivery apps, you have your credit card linked to it. So whenever you order, you just say, okay, remember this card and order from there. So check it regularly basically. And those apps which you are not using regularly, but you still have your credit card linked to it, either remove your credit card or remove the app. No need of keeping it, because the moment your phone also gets stolen, everything goes, correct? So make sure that also you take care of. The next important thing that we did is, since we are not using our debit card regularly, we have put some conditions on the debit card that if I want to use the debit card, I have to use it in person. I cannot use my debit card to do online transactions. So basically, if I use my debit card to do some online shopping, I have set the limit to 0, which means the transaction would immediately be declined. So going forward in future, if my debit card gets compromised, the scammer will have got nothing to do. Unless he takes the card physically with him and then punches it inside the ATM or a point of sale machine, then he can use it, otherwise no. So guys, this is one important thing that you can do. So if you're not using your debit card regularly, you can reduce the limit of online usage for your debit card to 0 or whatever limit you feel is suitable as per your needs. Guys, one last suggestion that I would like to make here is to check your bank accounts on a regular basis, maybe if possible once daily or at least once in 2 days. Guys, the reason I'm telling you this is because if I hadn't checked my bank account casually on Saturday morning, I would not have come to know about this particular fraudulent transactions, and it would have given scammer some more time to commit more fraudulent transactions on my bank account, and that would be of a bigger, larger amount. Okay, so earlier the better. So it's imperative that you act fast, you act regularly and proactively check your bank accounts. I would request you all once daily or once in at least 2 days. Okay. Finally, change your passwords for all your bank accounts, and even change your security question and answers for your bank accounts on a regular basis. I'm sure bank has some policies enforced on it, but it's up to you to proactively participate in this and make your account more secure. So guys, apart from this, one last important thing, and that is the biggest mistake which I believe in all of this, is keeping your purse or your wallet near the closet, close to the main door. So guys, I know it's a ease of convenience. You just have to go to near your main door, open the closet, put on your jacket, shoes, wallet, take your wallet or purse and leave the house. But guys, ease of convenience can be ignored. Peace of mind is more important in such cases, right? So guys, we have learned this lesson in a very hard way. I hope that you all learn from this and do not face the same situation that we faced. So guys, so far I haven't done any legal action or anything against the plumber, because to be honest, I cannot prove it, right? Because I was there with the plumber for the whole 30 minutes. He did not do anything suspicious. He did not do anything, to raise suspicions against him. So that's the reason I was assuming that he would be carrying some kind of magnetic reading device, because of which Sim's debit card got compromised. So guys, please let me know in the comments below if there is any legal action that I can take against him or no. And also guys, please let me know in the comments if you like this video, and if you really do, please do like, comment and subscribe, and do not hesitate to share this video with as many people as possible so that all are informed about this. So guys, with this I say goodbye, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and follow all the government quarantine rules and restrictions, lockdown rules and restrictions, because it's for our own betterment. Goodbye and take care.